Hey, everybody. Can you let me know that you can hear me okay? This is kind of a spur of the moment live. I didn't plan on going live tonight, but here I am. Thank you, Kristen and company. Happy birthday to you as well. Hi, Happy Go Lucky. Thank you for being here. And this is it. Thank you for subscribing. Hey, Amy. Actually, just texting you back. Okay, so we are going to start this a little different because I'm still piecing the information together here. There's been a little bit of a break in the case of Gannon Stauch, who's missing in Colorado Springs. He has been missing officially a week today. And there was a break later this evening, I believe about 5 p.m. Mountain Time. So it would have been about 7 p.m. my time. And it's very interesting. Hey, Amanda. Hi, Olivia. Hi, Pallets and Pugs. Thank you for subscribing. It's good to see so many people here. I'm going to start off by reading this interview, or not interview, the most recent news article. It's very interesting, and we're going to kind of have a little redundancy here, only because we need to watch Tisha's interview again, because she says something about a car, and it's very important because there is talk, I can't confirm it as fact, but there is talk that she rented a car over the weekend on Sunday or Monday, and she later took that car back to the rental agency later that day and exchanged it for another one. So we're going to listen to her interview again, unfortunately. I'm sorry. Glowing Ember, I can send you an email. Yes. You can actually, I'll type it down here in the comments. Hey, Dee. You can, let me type it here because we have a few emails. We'll go with this one for today. Sorry, guys, I'm typing. I can't do two things at once the older I get. Okay. There's an email for you. I'm going to pull up her video one more time as soon as I read this article, and I will share the article with you. I'm actually going to bring Amy on with me as well. She's been following this case very, very closely with me. She's one of my great friends. She also is an admin in a few of my groups. Irish is here. Hey, girl. So Amy's going to come on and talk about just some stuff that, whoops, you guys are going to hear me talking in the background. I didn't turn my volume down on my phone, that she's seen, and just kind of do a little discussion about what we think is going on. And yes, Kristen and company, that video was from nighttime. It's very, very, I'm bothered, you guys. I hate to, I don't want to be negative. So before I go and say my thoughts or what I'm feeling right now, I just want to say, from one parent to another, my thoughts and my prayers and my hope remains with Gannon's parents. And from one mother to another, Landon, I have all the hope right alongside you, girl. I'm hoping and praying that everything happens to turn out in Gannon's favor and that he is brought home safely. That's what everybody wants. We all want that. Hi, Charlene. Thank you. Okay, so let me add Amy in here. Hey, Amy, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yay. Okay. Before we get down to business, I'm going to read this article and I'm going to share my screen with you guys so that you can see what I'm reading. It was released not long ago. can look at the time and see what time it was released. If there's a time on here. There's a video too. Should we play the video? So it came on at 5:42 p.m., which is Colorado time. So about 5 hours ago, their time. Let's see what the video says first, because I haven't watched the video. I've only read the article, but this video shows the evidence.
It also shows the man that turned in the video. So that's
Okay, this one shows it too.
I think his name is Roderick Drayton.
Okay. Oh, you know what? Oops. I did it again, you guys. I didn't realize there was a video in there. Give me 1 second. I will learn this. I have to hit a button that allows me to share audio, and I always forget to hit that button. So you wouldn't hear the audio on that video. Okay. I know I've seen yeah, thank you. I know I've seen several videos so far this evening, but they're all pretty much saying the same thing. It's interesting though. What they're saying is very interesting and very scary. Let me just look at how my screen looks.
Well, I would say the fact that there hasn't been anything breaking in a couple days, and then this neighbor surrendered the video, and now they are removing large quantities of evidence of the house would, I mean, that in itself speaks volumes that whatever's on this tape is important.
Absolutely. And investigators did say that this was the break they needed. So we'll go ahead and watch the video, then I know. We'll watch the video and then I will read the article.
Sleep better for less with American Furniture Warehouse's President's Day event. Our mattress galleries have been redesigned to make the mattress buying process easy and stress-free, adding quality brands like Serta to our award-winning lineup of mattresses to choose from, only at American Furniture Warehouse.
Jeremy and Aristea, the evidence comes from a neighbor's surveillance camera. Police have asked us not to discuss it or show you this video just yet because it's part of their investigation. And to make sure we do nothing to compromise Gannon's search, we will abide by that. But let me just tell you this. We've been out here outside of Gannon's home, staking it all day. And just a few hours ago, a crimes team came with gloves, stayed for hours, and recently left with bags of evidence. As the search continues for 11-year-old Gannon Stauch, investigations center around the home he was last seen leaving. On day 7 of his disappearance, investigators walk inside with gloves, leaving with evidence bags bigger and bigger with each trip to the Metro Crime Lab van.
There's a lot being done behind the scenes, especially from the investigative side.
A few doors down, neighbor Roderick Drayton's doing some investigations of his own.
Couldn't sleep, so I just stayed up and just kind of kept looking through. I looked at it on my tablet. Then I said, let me come look on the TV to make sure.
What he found, police have asked us not to share yet.
This is something that the detectives are looking into, and it would be considered part of our investigation.
First thing in the morning, I got up, I went and showed Gannon's father, and then they called investigators.
What did Gannon's father say? What was his reaction?
He just broke down crying.
Drayton says detectives were moved by the footage too.
They came right away.
Oh, wow. Did they say anything?
Just the break they needed.
Do you feel that you're getting closer to answers?
You know, I don't have that answer. I don't know. Yeah. But I can say that this is being worked tirelessly and 24 hours a day, and we're not going to stop.
We saw them hard at work here just a little while ago, and everyone's really just hoping to get Gannon home. As soon as we get the green light to show you that video from the sheriff's office, we will right away. Again, we do not want to compromise anything in this timely investigation. Please also want you to send any tips you have to them directly. Do not send it through Facebook. And they have that number for the tip line on our website, kdvr.com. Reporting live in El Paso County, Nicole Fierro, Fox 31.
Yeah, we just hope. So that's a lot to take in. a lot to take in. I'll go ahead and read the article before we get into all of that. It says, 1 week after an 11-year-old El Paso County boy went missing, authorities received a new piece of evidence to further the investigation into Gannon Stauch's disappearance. Fox 31 obtained a copy of this evidence that came from a neighbor's surveillance camera. Authorities have asked us to not describe or show it yet because it's a part of their investigation. To ensure we don't compromise anything in the search for Stauch, we are honoring the sheriff's office request. As the search for Stauch continues, investigations centered around the home he was last seen leaving on January 27th. Investigators walked inside of the home with gloves and left with evidence bags. There was a lot being done behind the scenes, especially on the investigative side, said Jacqueline Kirby with the El Paso County Sheriff's Office. A few doors down, neighbor Roderick Drayton did some investigating on his own. I couldn't sleep, so I just stayed up and started looking through surveillance footage, Drayton said, adding, I looked through on my tablet, then I said, let me look on my TV to be sure. Police have asked us not to share what he found. There is something the investigators are looking into, and it would be part of our investigation, Kirby said. Drayton took the footage to Stauch's father, who immediately called detectives. He just broke down crying, Drayton said. Drayton says detectives were moved by the footage too. They said this is the break they needed, Drayton said. Fox 31 asked the sheriff's office if they are getting closer to finding answers Monday afternoon. I don't have that answer. I don't know, but I can say this is being worked tirelessly and we won't stop, Kirby said. Fox 31 will share the footage as soon as the sheriff's office approves. Detectives are asking anyone with tips or information to call the tip line at 719-520-6666. So that's some heavy stuff. I want to show you guys these pictures though, because we saw the crime scene investigators removing stuff from the home. Give me just a moment to pull up the pictures. But what do you think about that, Amy?
Well, what I read is that video was captured somewhere between 10 p.m. on Sunday night and 11:52 p.m. on Sunday night. We know that he didn't attend school on Monday morning. We know that originally the stepmother said he had a doctor's appointment and that's why he was home. And then later she said that she had actually just called the doctor's office and they called in a prescription. I will say there's like a little detail about the prescription. It tends to be an over-the-counter drug. I believe it was Miralax that she said that they called in. But that would be typical.
Okay.
Like we're on TRICARE, like military insurance in my family. So they do call in over-the-counter drugs. So that could be, if she's telling the truth, that could be. But the point is that whatever's on this video was captured on Sunday evening. And the last time, as far as I can tell, the last official sighting of Gannon is Friday at school.
Okay. So
they are not, I mean, they will say that she took them hiking on Sunday, but as far as like anybody outside the family seeing him, I believe it was Friday at school. Yeah.
Oh boy. Hey, Will. Hey, honeybee. Just catching up on chat really quick. Hi, Amanda, Texas gal. Thank you all so much for being here. So we saw them. You guys are going to see my whole iCloud photos pop up. Sorry, but it's just the easiest way for me to do it right now. We saw them removing evidence, and I saw some speculation online that evidence was possibly carpet. And this is interesting to me when we look at these photos.
So, Will, they haven't shown like the actual Ring doorbell footage yet. They're keeping that quiet. But they did show footage outside the house this evening of the crime scene investigators removing what appears to be large quantities of evidence bags and big evidence bags.
Right. Right. And so here are text messages that were on, it looks like an Apple Watch, and I will read the date and time because it's very hard to even see for me. They were sent Sunday, January 26th at 10:54 p.m. The first one says, "Don't panic, but Gannon turned on a candle downstairs and set the downstairs." Let me get the next one. It just says set the downstairs and then it's cut off. But he is fine and scared and saying sorry and freaking out. So that's interesting. And let's look at what. So there's the photos of the crime scene, detectives. I don't know how to zoom on here. I don't think I can zoom on iCloud. Maybe. Let's see. Does this do it? There we go. If you look at them, he's carrying out something large and wrapped in paper like it's rolled. Could it be carpet? It could be. It could be. I don't think we know for sure, but I think that would be a fair speculation. There's some more of the crime lab at the home, and they're photographing outside. There's more of them.
They had also said earlier that they had cleared out the garage of any vehicles, and they were doing a thorough search of the garage as well.
Oh,
So
wow.
I'm, I don't know any more than you guys know except for that. But
Right.
it makes you wonder, because that is one of the areas where it appears that that Ring doorbell cam is exterior footage of the adjacent neighbor, similar
Yeah, so
to
here's some footage from the neighbor's Ring doorbell cam. This one is not time stamped, but it's daytime. And you kind of see a car sitting right there, and there's something right here. Not sure what that is. And then here, right here, is the actual screenshots of what they shared. They go to 11:52 p.m. and the last time that we can see is 9:36 p.m. But if you look at them, I don't know. I don't think that they would put these on national television if they held anything relevant. But it's interesting that those times right there, 9:36 and 11:52, if we come back here, this message was sent at 10:54 p.m. on Sunday.
right.
That's very interesting.
It is. It is.
And she's saying that he lit a candle and
he set
apparently
the
he burned the
downstairs on
carpet.
fire.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden he doesn't go to school the next day and he's a runaway by the end of the day. It's very,
Right.
very, very strange.
Can we also talk about what was the search on his phone? Because I don't think did we talk about that last night?
We
It all
didn't.
runs
I also
together.
found these pictures too. I don't know when they were taken, but it appears to be Gannon maybe on the hike that Sunday.
Yes. And it is a lot more elevated than, or it appears to be, than, unless he's standing right up against one of those big.
There's somebody sitting up there. I don't know what these signs say. And then there's the corner of somebody's jacket there. I don't know what that means either, but it's very, very interesting to me. But what did you want to talk about? I'm sorry, Amy.
Oh, no. It's just, when he disappeared, we have to remember he was wearing a hoodie, not a jacket. He did not have a backpack with him. Now, if he just left while she was downstairs working out with headphones on, I don't know how she knows what he left with. But So no backpack, wearing a hoodie, and he left
Right.
his cell phone behind. Now, the investigators did a search of his cell phone and found that he had Googled, "Can my parents find me if my phone is off?"
Oh boy.
And, anytime with a cell phone, we can't prove who actually did the search. We only know that it was done on that device. And they haven't
Right.
released the time frame of that search. But,
Right.
if you're, this is all speculation, but if your mind is going different directions, different places, and trying to make theories or whatever, you look at the Apple Watch message, you look at the message on his phone, and it's all a little contrived, I guess, considering where we are
Absolutely.
today.
And then there's this as well. I'm going to share my photos again. It's just stuff that I came across. I think you sent me some stuff, and then I was looking and I just saved some photos because this is interesting. Well, I'll just read this really quick. This isn't the interesting part. It just says 7 days after the disappearance, a Metro Crime Lab team spent hours at 11-year-old Gannon Stauch's home today. They went in with gloves and tools and left with several evidence bags. What I wanted to show was this. This is somebody's tweet on Twitter. I'm sorry if I'm showing your name, but this was interesting to me. This person is saying that Tisha rented a car Monday morning and brought it back Monday night. Something is definitely off, right down to T telling her daughter what to say. She was talking far too much about what she had been through. But there's more. Let's see what this one says. This is where that gets interesting, because these people are saying, and that's why we're going to listen to Tisha's interview again, because if we listen to that interview again, Tisha talks about this. The stepmom was clothes shopping with her 17-year-old daughter when law enforcement asked for the keys to the car they had. So that's what makes it interesting, because there's various accounts. This isn't the only person that I shared previously that's saying that there was a rental car involved. That's not the only person that's saying it. That's just one that I happened to screenshot. Numerous people are saying it. And it's interesting because Tisha talks about the cops handcuffing her daughter and wanting keys to the car or something. We're going to watch her interview again so we can listen to her words exactly and hear exactly what she said. I'm starting to believe that there was a rental car involved. Is that what you're thinking, Amy?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we talked about, do you want to talk about the legalities of that, or do you want to wait till after?
Well, so you had asked me if they would need a search warrant to take a rental car, and
Right.
law enforcement would need that search warrant, because if there's any evidence in that car or any vehicle or any home, anywhere that's searched, a search warrant is necessary for any of that evidence to be admissible in court. However, that search warrant wouldn't have been served on Tisha. It would have been given to the rental car company. The cops would have went to Tisha like, hey, we're taking this car because we have a search warrant. She couldn't fight that. There's nothing she can do.
Right. And
So
that's kind of why we're watching this video again, because there was some mention of her saying her daughter was put in handcuffs at some point because she wouldn't turn over the keys to the car. Now, she doesn't, as far as I remember, she didn't say rental car. She just said car. And so then she says, but I had the keys in my pocket. So maybe there was some handcuffing because they were not willing to surrender the car. I don't know.
right. So we're gonna watch her interview again. That's interesting, Amanda. Someone on a post in Crime Fried Chicken on Facebook shared a screenshot of a post made by Landon's sister, Christian Dawn Clark. She made it very clear that she despises Tisha. I'm going to go look for that. Maybe I can find it on Facebook. In the meantime, I'm going to pull up this video so we can hear what she said again about that whole arrest situation. And thank you. There's a lot of people in the chat. Thank you guys for being here with us. Everybody who's joining us. I just saw Amanda Clampett down there. Hi, girl. I just talked to you on Facebook and told you we were going to be on here. Thanks for coming on. Okay, let me get to the video. In a perfect world, you guys, I would have this all pulled up and ready to go, but it's not a perfect world and I'm not organized, so here we are. No, I don't want to play it all.
It all happened so quickly. You were trying to get everything organized and ready to go, and
yeah, I honestly, I had zero intentions of coming on live tonight, everybody. I was laying on my couch watching Alaskan bush people and ready to go to sleep.
Yeah.
And
I was too, until someone walked
yeah.
in the room listening to impeachment hearings, and I was like,
Oh boy. My aunt is so tired of her husband is obsessed with it.
Yeah, mine
Obsessed.
is
Like
too.
Fox News.
Mine
And
is
you
too.
know,
Yeah.
I have my political thoughts and beliefs, but I cannot imagine sitting and watching the shit 24/7. It's enough to drive you crazy.
It is driving me crazy.
Give me true crime. I'd rather
I know.
watch true crime.
I know.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna pull up the video and do it the right way this time.
You are?
I am Tisha Stauch, which is Gannon's stepmother.
You've been a part of the investigation since the very first time. You were the last person to see him. Is that right? What What did you see when you last saw him?
Well, I'm not allowed to talk about anything with the case. I would more so be willing to talk about how the community needs to have faith and continue to work together and not make these false accusations, like the things that have been said that I've disappeared from the community. I haven't been there to help, but there's lots of reasons behind that.
Reasons like death threats, right?
Right. Death threats are one of them. My family's getting lots of death threats. We counted over 20 some death threats already. Two, my husband's ex-wife is living in our home. And of course, I'm not coming home to do these things and to help with the family when I was kind of like told I couldn't. And then many other things that happened with the El Paso County Police Department, and then during the investigation, I was told I wasn't complying. And can I elaborate on that?
Please do.
Yes. So I asked for an attorney during the interview and was denied that by them. I was held because they were blocking the door, and I was told I couldn't leave, and that if I would have touched them, they would have probably, said I still wasn't complying or said I was, trying to run away or something. But during the interview, I asked several times, could I stop the interview? Could I get an attorney? Could I stop the interview? Could I get an attorney? I was denied. I was told I couldn't get nothing to drink. I couldn't go to the bathroom. I mean, it was continuously that my constitutional rights were violated.
And that's why you say that they said then you weren't cooperating.
That's why they said I wasn't cooperating at that time, correct?
And why did you ask for an attorney at the time?
Well, I asked for an attorney at the time because there was one individual, there was two really good detectives, and so I'm not, going to talk bad about detectives, but the tactics they started to get when I would answer questions, they try to, they're detectives, they're supposed to twist. The one main goal is to find Gannon. But during that time, some of those things made me feel uncomfortable the way they were saying things. So I immediately stopped and felt like an attorney would help me with some of the vocabulary and things like that I needed help with and understanding some of the things that they were asking.
I'm going to shift gears to what has become a huge online presence of people obviously trying to do the right thing, help find Gannon. But at the same time, sometimes it just feels like rumor mongering. Have you seen any of those comments yourself?
We have. And see, that's one of the main things we haven't been around in the public eye, because I didn't want to expose my family to it if all these things were going on. You know, there was comments about Gannon getting pushed off the hike, and there was comments about this, and that's just not true. I took care of Gannon for the last 2 years in our home because his mother didn't want to do it. And I would never, never, ever hurt this child. And I know there's some questions out there about, okay, so tell me what happens. That's up to the investigations when they end up letting you guys know. But I've cooperated with them, even to the point that we were held with a gun. And my daughter, a 17-year-old who serves our country in the United States Air Force, who has never committed a crime or done anything wrong in her life, was put in handcuffs over the keys that was in her purse so they could take her car.
And they weren't in there.
They weren't even in her car. I mean, in her purse.
And
they were in my pocket.
You originally didn't even know it was the law enforcement officer?
I didn't know it was a law enforcement officer because when he came out, I guess he was putting his jacket on, and it wasn't necessarily his fault. He was adjusting and happened to catch me. But I saw the gun and I panicked originally and kind of thought, oh gosh, who's this guy? And then once I realized it was the sheriff's office, I was totally okay. But they still had a gun and told me they were going to shoot me. But I was really concerned about my daughter, asking why she was being detained in handcuffs and things like that, when that shouldn't even happen for a child. That shouldn't happen for someone who was standing inside of a store shopping, because we couldn't have any clothes because all of our clothes were here. We came here and got clothes, we would be harassed. So she went to purchase some underwear and things like that and was put in the handcuffs in the store, and then brought out with men with guns. And that's just not okay. They could approach me and said, hi, I'm with El Paso County. Can I please get this? Instead of the way that it happened.
I'm just going to check her shot. Doing great. Still good on recording. Still can hear you okay. Okay, yeah, sounds like we're good. Every once in a while my mic will give out, and I want to make sure it's not going to happen here. Okay. I should try and clarify here. Not necessarily crime rates, but the way that people are reacting online to rumors about you with the search.
Oh yes. Wow. The rumors have gotten so bad. I pretty much have been told at least 10 different ways that these people have these conspiracy theories. I guess they watch a lot of law shows and maybe they have all these theories on how Gannon is dead. And that's what they're saying. So I'm like, why are you saying Gannon is dead? He is not dead. We are going to find Gannon. And that's the main goal that we all have. My family has. Just because you haven't seen us, we have that same goal. We've been out searching. My aunt has been out searching. My family has been out searching. We all have been doing that together so that we could protect each other.
How does it feel when not only you have a lost child who you are in care of, but then people blaming you for that child not being there?
I'm just ready for Gannon to come home. Most importantly, for him to see his family. But second, I am going to be so ecstatic when I'm able to say to people that I hope they have a really sincere apology for all these theories that have came out online, for all the things they said that I have done or people have done. And I just want everyone to know that we're going to find Gannon. And I love him so much. I've helped taking care of him for so long.
Can you talk to me a little bit about him? I don't know it.
Gannon is so kind, and he loves to play video games. That's one of his favorite things. He loves Sonic and Mario, and he's always helpful. And he was always so helpful with the dogs around the house. And we have 2 cute dogs, and he was always like a person I could say, Gannon, can you go do this? And he would do it right away. Sometimes with kids we have to remind them and things like that, and that's okay. But he was so sweet and able to help anyone. He could notice when you're sick and say, are you okay? And such a kind heart.
I know you just said that you can't say anything about the investigation, so you can just say so again if you can't answer this. But is there anything we can hear about the hike? Was there a hike? That just seems like rumors right now.
You know what? Could we bring my daughter up here? Because she can go and say that, she came home from work after the hike, and she can verify that Gannon was at our home.
Okay, yeah, that's fine with me. And if she doesn't want to, that's okay, but you're allowed.
That's fine.
Not okay so far?
Yes. I need Harley. Because they want you to verify it was Gannon at home after the hike. Because you didn't go to the hike, but you came home from work. Do you want me to just say yes? No, just answer the question. Yes, you came home from work, and you can verify Gannon was at home. Yeah. I told her she didn't have to be too in depth because she is still, you know, a child. But I want to make sure that someone knows that there's another person to verify that Gannon.
Sure.
Does she need to hold this?
No.
Yes, so I came home later that evening. I was at work, and I can verify that he was there that night.
So there was a hike that you guys went on, but then you guys came home.
Yes.
Where'd you guys go hiking?
Garden of the Gods.
I guess when.
And then we ate Burger King afterwards. So, you know.
There you go.
Yeah.
And then it just was, I'm gonna go to play at a friend's house. And then it was just, I'm off to go to play at a friend's house.
Unfortunately, I'm not able to like comment on that anymore, and for that reason is because some things have been turned and twisted, and you know that was one of those stories you were talking about where people say things. We had to hear things like who would let their child go out at dark and things like that, and that's just why I don't want to answer that. If I had to give, I'm not gonna say that part.
That's okay.
Never mind.
Right.
I could take that out.
I understand that it gets tricky. Do you feel like I asked you what I need to? Do you feel like this is going to help kind of turn the tide of what feels like a witch hunt, in my opinion?
I hope. Am I on camera now?
You are
okay.
still.
Okay. I think that a lot of people can see that I'm not missing and see that I am being cooperative. But to me, it's okay that they think those things because the way someone thinks about me, I don't have a problem with that. My main thing is I would never want someone to think that I would hurt Gannon or any of the children in our home because that's just not the case. I've spent my whole entire life working so hard in education. There was even things online that was talking about my education license and I shouldn't even be a teacher. And they just didn't know that. Like we moved on a military move and I didn't finish out my contract. So I gave up my license in that state. It had nothing to do with any criminal activity, you know, or any of those things. And it just got blown out of proportion on my professional status, you know. And
do you feel like these are just internet detectives who think they know what they're doing?
it definitely is. And, you know, here's the thing that kind of saddens me. It's like if you're going to talk about someone like that and have a witch hunt out for them, why would you even care like about doing those things? Because this is a child. You're telling me that you're just as mean, you're just as hateful to talk about someone else like that. That's how I feel. Like we just should not. We should all come together and wait until the end and see what happens because Gannon's going to come home.
Any message for Gannon?
The message for Gannon I have is, Gannon, when you get here, you'll be able to truly tell what happened. And then I really hope I get a sincere apology from everyone who has made all those things, especially from my husband.
We just wanted to add a message to Gannon from my family, is that we love you and miss you, and we hope that you come home soon. And Gannon, I can't wait till you can come home and let everyone know that you're okay. We love you.
So it's weirder to me every flippin' time I see it. It gets weirder and weirder and weirder. I don't know. Something about the ending of that video just, it's crazy.
The just add water tears.
Yes. Yeah. With her back turned.
And she says, Gannon will be able to tell you all the truth, and not in a way it's like, you know, like he'll be able to share his story or what happened. It's like, oh, he'll vilify me, you know. It's like all the concern is on her. It's disturbing. Her choice of words over and over again are disturbing.
Right. Yes, they are. They're very, very, very disturbing. And yeah, I'm going to find, I'm not going to find, I did find what Landon's aunt posted, and we'll look at that and see what Landon's aunt had to say. It's very interesting.
There is a lot of back and forth between those two families. It's shocking.
There's definitely a lot of animosity, and I think that speaks volumes because there's a missing child, and they're not united, and it definitely shows who's on what team. I mean,
it does, and it becomes when you read it, it's on a very personal level. There's a lot of name calling. There's a lot of accusations, very harsh accusations.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Hold on one second. I'm going to pull this banner down really quick before I read it. Okay. So this is Landon's aunt who posted. She said, "My niece is still without her child, doesn't have any answers as to his whereabouts, and is faced with ridicule from the lying bitch that was his stepmother. Gannon is a sweet child and loved by his family that wants answers as to what has happened to him. We want Gannon found and brought home to his family. That's all we want is Gannon. Please continue to pray for my niece and Gannon's safe return home, despite what the lying piece of trash may say about my niece. Gannon was loved, cared for, and Landon is a good mother to her children. The one person that saw him last continuously changes her story about the events of the last day he was seen and was verbally abusive to my nephew, hardly has a right to judge my niece about anything that concerns his well-being. Please don't give any credit to the words of a woman that has so much to hide versus a mother that was states away from my nephew when he disappeared, in quotation marks. My niece is a loving mother that just wants her baby found and home safe. Our family loves Gannon and Landon, facts that can never be disputed. The truth will come out, for our God says that what's done in the dark will come to light. We are cut from a different cloth that believes in God, his love and his wrath. Those responsible, sorry, those responsible for what has happened to my nephew will pay in this life or the next. How dare a person make slighted comments about Landon when my nephew was under her care when this happened? I am sorry, but my niece is far more concerned for her child at this point than to entertain the words of such a shady, lying bitch. That's where I can stand up for her. I am Landon Bullard Hyatt's aunt, and will have her back on this every day, all day, till forever. She loves her children, is a good mother, and deserves to know where her child is. Her family has her back and Gannon's back. We will see this through no matter what, and the guilty will pay for their part in my nephew's disappearance. Jail would be a much better option for you, bitch. Best take it while you still can." So that's telling. That is telling. This family absolutely believes that Tisha is involved in the disappearance of Gannon. It seems like everybody countrywide, I don't know if this has made world news yet, but nationwide, everybody is seeing the same thing and saying the same thing. And that's very telling.
It is very telling. And that was established very early on last week. I mean,
Right.
the minute the father returned from his training and the mother flew into town, she was no longer in that house. And when you
Yeah.
look at the social media exchanges, they all start there, and it's very hostile. And I will say this one is probably the most eloquently written one I've seen. The other ones are just full of expletives and accusations, and it's the things going back and forth are horrific. So,
well, I have to disagree. That's not telling. That's not only telling that they don't get along. Read those words again. I mean, she flat out says, the truth will come out, for our God says what's done in the dark will come to light. Those responsible for what has happened to my nephew will pay in this life or next. She's flat out saying in this over and over that something has happened to Gannon. The last person that was with him when he disappeared, in quotation marks, was Tisha. And I mean, she ends it with, jail would be a much better option for you, bitch. Best take it while you can. She says that Tisha has changed her statement over and over again don't get me wrong, I know that there's dislike between the two families, but this public statement by the aunt is
Will, it's not, you're right. It's not telling of Tisha's guilt, but it is giving you some insight into how the family has aligned, including her own husband. To ask your wife to leave your house is enormous.
okay. That's telling of, okay, you're right. It's not telling of her guilt. And you're saying that's telling of someone's opinion of Tisha. Well, it's the family of Landon, his mother, and they believe that Tisha is directly involved with what's happened.
And if her attitude, let's just say this, when she's on camera with a news reporter, you would expect her to be on her best behavior. In her mind, she's trying to put her best foot forward, and she's trying to do a plea to the public. I'm not this bad person. And she doesn't come across real well. So I can only imagine how she is behaving off camera with law enforcement and her family.
Right. Yeah. I haven't seen any other interactions. I mean, I have a little here and there, but it just seems like everybody is united on one side with Landon, Albert, and their families, and they all are saying the same thing.
Yes. And she has, Will asked before if, why Landon didn't have custody of the children. There are some rumors out there. I'm not comfortable saying them on here because I don't know that they're true. But I will tell you that digging today, Tisha has a dark past that is documented, and it lends to her character. And so I personally don't feel badly looking at her in the way I am right now based on some of the things she's done in her recent past that are very serious.
Right. Something's not right.
It's not speculative. There's documentation of T's not only criminal behavior, but she's lost her professional licenses. She's been suspended. It's all court documents that are available to the public.
Yeah, I mean, we can pull. I have some of them here. I think you sent me some earlier. Let me get a link.
Well, we all have a past. We all do. I'm not saying that, but we're talking. I'm only going to mention the things that I know that I found court records. I'm talking about bomb threats. I'm talking about physical altercations.
Yes.
There's some. This isn't, I got pulled over on a suspended license. I shoplifted when I was 18. I wrote a bad check.
Right.
This isn't everybody's done stuff like that. And the only difference between the people that got in trouble for it and the people that didn't is that, they got caught.
Right.
So, but this is a whole nother level.
She has assault charges in the past. She has, let's see, what else does she have? Domestic violence charges. She has
and a lot
probation
of her
violations.
Yeah. So she's above the law, and most of her actions have to do with retaliation to something else.
Right.
So that says something about about someone.
And yes, she's a former teacher. She is a former teacher. I actually have the link to her court case. I can drop it for you guys to read it. This is the court case where her teaching license was revoked. I don't know how she got a teaching license to begin with, to be honest with you, with her past criminal history.
Yeah, I don't either, because in the state of Florida, she wouldn't have. I don't know if it's different state to state, but here there were some things on there that would automatically disqualify her. She wouldn't even be able to go in front of an ethics board. It's just a cut and dry thing. And we still have problems in our
Right.
state. We still have bad, disgusting people because they just haven't been caught for the disgusting things they do yet. But yeah, she wouldn't
Right.
have been eligible for employment, even in a county
Okay.
office.
It's not going to let me drop a link because it's too long. So,
Can we put it in the comment or in the description?
it might let me do it like this. It might let me do it on the computer like this. Let me try this. This is all just, it's all very disturbing to me. And I watched the tarot lady tonight. I actually pinned her video in my community section here at Real Massacre Talk. The name of her is Undisputed Truth. I'm not even going to discuss her video because it's so disturbing. So disturbing. And of course, that is all speculation. That is speculation. That's tarot readings, but I've watched this lady for many cases and she's never been wrong.
Tracy, I just read your comment. Let me scroll back. She say exactly what she said during the interview. She said, "I didn't lose my license because of any criminal history." She said those words. She actually didn't. My understanding when I read it is that she was asked for some certain documentation and she didn't produce it. And so it was determined that she was being evasive and some of the things she said weren't correct. She also had other, I don't know what you would call them, like other documentation that said that she had left children unsupervised, things had happened, things like that. So,
right. Let me get you guys a shortened link to. Let me shorten the link and do it that way. Oops.
Kristen, who are we being so careful of? Well, we're just, I mean, if people in the chat are saying that we're pointing the finger at somebody already and saying she's absolutely guilty, I'm not comfortable saying that. I am comfortable saying that she doesn't look real good right now. And
right.
she doesn't on paper, she's not the best of character.
Right. And that is.
And there's also signs when people think they're above the law, when they think that just because somebody did something to me, I get to do something back and I'm right for doing that. That's
right.
That's childish and somewhat sociopathic behavior or borderline personality behavior. And
right.
violating probation when if you're a doctoral candidate and you have been given probation, I would think you would do everything you were supposed to do so that would just go away and you'd be able to explain it away one day. But to just, yeah, she doesn't, she's above the rules, and she's been terribly inconsistent in her stories.
Yeah,
she's changed her stories.
I'm not comfortable saying publicly that she did something. No. Do I think that her behavior is unacceptable? Yes. And see, somebody said up here, shades of Shane Carey. I get it. That's fair. That's fair for you to say that. However, this is different. Shane Carey's interview was completely different. And Heidi's family never publicly spoke out against Shane. They stood behind him. When you see Okay, I think that link right there will take you guys to, I don't know, I can't even remove this last comment. When you have a missing child and an entire family is speaking out against one person, and the husband has thrown his wife out. He threw her out.
And her daughter.
And her daughter.
Yeah.
Yes,
And
yes.
and moved his ex-wife back in.
Yes, yes. This is very like, oh, reminiscent of Kaylee Anthony, Kyron Horman. Oh, what was the little boy? You might remember this case. Was it Trenton Duckett? That
Yes,
happened in Florida.
Mm-hmm. And the
He
wife.
still,
Yeah.
yes, he still has never been found, and his mom committed
No.
suicide.
And his father is a huge advocate here in Florida and nationwide. He actually was very involved in the Casey Anthony case. Regardless of how you feel about her family. Trenton Duckett's father. I can't think of his first name. But he works really closely with the Center for Missing and Exploited Children, the Adam Walsh Foundation, and all of that.
Yes, yes. Did that link still not copyright, you guys? Let me try it again. Sorry. Okay.
Melanie, I don't know if they've been there twice today, but I know they were there for quite some time today collecting large amounts of evidence. And that was all because of that video being handed over by the neighbor. It looks like your link worked that time.
Yes, it did. That is the link to her teaching license being revoked. So
Tracy, oh, go ahead.
No, you're fine.
No, somebody asked where they were staying now. We've seen online that they're staying in a hotel. Yeah. I don't know. I saw something today where somebody was trying to set up a GoFundMe for the stepmother, and there was a lot of negative responses on that. They were saying she doesn't have a car, she doesn't have a place to stay, and people were not very kind. So,
well, in her behavior, okay, so let's give her the benefit of the doubt. They were going through obviously a rough patch. She had applied for a job as an airline attendant
with a doctoral degree.
Right. But then again, anybody can put anything on Facebook and be whoever they want to be on Facebook. So is that degree even relevant or real? We don't know that. I mean, but at the same time, this is a woman who has a teaching degree and said that she couldn't understand the vocabulary of the police when they were speaking to her. So I have a hard time with that. I don't even know what I was saying. I just lost my train of thought. But okay, so say that they were having marital problems. She applies for a job as an airline attendant. How are you going to take care of two small children as an airline attendant when your husband is in the military and goes away for military training in other states? How does that work?
Right. Well, and she apparently closed some joint bank accounts as well.
Right.
So it just seems like she was making plans for her next move, and maybe he came home and realized like this is just out of control. Like I don't even know what's going on anymore. And she had to go.
Will, are you still down in the comments? Because I want you to see the video. I'll play it again for anybody. Actually, I probably should play it again, huh, Amy? Because when we played that video, I think there was only about 50 people watching, and we're approaching 150 right now. So,
do we have the post that Tisha wrote in response to her interview?
I don't know, but we can get it.
I have it. I can send it to you. I'm just not sure if I can I get off StreamYard and go to my, I'm scared to get out of StreamYard to do this.
I can get it. Did she share it publicly?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let me go to her Facebook. I can get it.
And it's very poorly written, but it matches with the way she speaks, if that makes sense. I would expect her to be a little bit more well-spoken, and maybe I'm being too hard on her because of her educational claims, but
yeah, it's not on her Facebook, but maybe I can find it somewhere.
I think I sent you a screenshot in your text messages today.
Okay. Let's see what this says.
Blonde PT, we're going to show the video again.
Yes, we're going to play the video again so everybody can see why I think we're not trying to be speculative. We're not trying to jump to conclusions. But when you see this video and you hear that Gannon's father broke down sobbing when he was shown the video, and then you see that crime scene units and investigators were at their home today for hours collecting evidence, you know, when you put all these little pieces together, it's just really, really not looking good.
Mm-hmm. Des Harris says, why did she have her back to the reporter? That was weird. And coaching her daughter on what to say right in front of the reporter. Yeah, she didn't know her mic was on. I don't think she realized her mic was on. And her back to the reporter, her claim is that she's receiving death threats. But at that point, her social media was already out there. Her name was already out there. I don't know.
Right.
It was a defensive move, I believe. And she has a touch of like being contrary. I'm not going to do what you want me to do. I'm not going to tell you what you want me to say. I have my own agenda. So her back to the camera kind of goes along with that, I think.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and play this video again, guys, since there's like double the people here right now watching that was here when we started. Yes, Des, she rented a car the day he came up missing. It's crazy. It's crazy. Somebody asked up above, was it you, Kristen? We haven't been able to figure out if Albert and T have a child together.
Yeah.
I don't think we've really nailed that down.
We know the youngest. Yeah. Sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
We know her name is Liana. But we cannot figure out. We know she's biologically related to Gannon. But
right.
That's it.
Right. She is Albert's daughter, but we don't know if she is Albert's child with Tisha or Albert's child with Landon. I'm sure we'll be able to figure that out, but I'm going to go ahead and play that video again.
Missy P, she's going to play the video of, there was some breaking news around 5:30 this afternoon that a neighbor had studied his ring cam footage and found something and turned it over to the police. And they're saying that it's going to be a break in the case. We don't know what the video shows, but Danielle's going to show the news report.
Yes. Okay, let me get back to...
At Lufa, yes. Maybe not showing her face made her feel safer in case someone recognizes it. That's her reasoning, and that's fair. That's fair.
It is.
Casey, me too. I have read that as well, that Liana is the daughter of Landon and Albert. I just don't know 100%, but I've read that several times. I have.
Gannon is 11, just turned 11 in September. And pay attention in this video. Landon left his home without a coat. He does not have his phone. Pay attention to the weather in this video. It's very cold there right now.
Hi, Erica. Welcome. Amanda Clampett, I believe. So Liana looks very young. I've seen that she's between, online they say she's between 8 and 9. To me, she looks a lot younger, but, you know.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and play it as soon as it loads. Will must have left. If it loads, there it goes.
Well, on PT, you're right. They do issue temporary teaching certificates sometimes, but I don't think that was the case with her.
Yeah, I dropped the link above. You can actually, we can read that too. I have no problem reading that. It's public record. But here is the video, guys. Don't mind my dog sneezing in the background.
So while I've been using IXL for, I guess this is my third year using IXL, it's awesome that if they get it right, they know immediately. If they get it wrong, they have an explanation.
It's buffering.
Jeremy and Aristea, the evidence comes from a neighbor's surveillance camera. Police have asked us not to discuss it or you this video just yet because it's part of their investigation, and to make sure we do nothing to compromise Gannon's search, we will abide by that. But let me just tell you this: we've been out here outside of Gannon's home staking it all day, and just a few hours ago a crimes team came with gloves, stayed for hours, and recently left with bags of evidence. As the search continues for 11-year-old Gannon Stauch, investigations center around the home he was last seen leaving. On day 7 of his disappearance, investigators walk inside with gloves, leaving with evidence bags bigger and bigger with each trip to the Metro Crime Lab van.
There's a lot being done behind the scenes, especially from the investigative side.
A few doors down, neighbor Roderick Drayton's doing some investigations of his own.
Couldn't sleep, so I just stayed up and just kind of just kept looking through. I looked through it on my tablet. Then I said, let me come look on the TV to make sure.
What he found, police have asked us not to share yet.
This is something that the detectives are looking into, and it would be considered part of our investigation.
First thing in the morning, I got up, I went and showed Gannon's father, and then they called investigators.
What did Gannon's father say? What was his reaction?
He just broke down crying.
Drayton says detectives were moved by the footage too.
They came right away.
Oh, wow. Did they say anything?
Just the break they needed.
Do you feel that you're getting closer to answers?
You know, I don't have that answer. I don't know. Yeah. But I can say that this is being worked tirelessly and 24 hours a day, and we're not going to stop.
We saw them hard at work here just a little while ago, and everyone's really just hoping to get Gannon home. As soon as we get the green light to show you that video from the sheriff's office, we will right away. Again, we do not want to compromise anything in this timely investigation. Please also want you to send any tips you have to them directly. Do not send it through Facebook. And they have that number for the tip line on our website, kdvr.com. Reporting live in El Paso County, Nicole Fierro, Fox 31.
Yeah, we just hope.
Oh, everybody's talking about the blue lights, and I'm looking at the shot of the street right now, and I just get goosebumps that they've all.
I know.
It's just so eerie and so cold, and I get this cold feeling inside. I just, oh.
Me too. It's sad. It's sad. How about everybody down in the comments throw some blue hearts up for Gannon? We all want to see him come home safe. We all want to keep hope for this little boy. And I'll go back and show the pictures again of the crime scene people at the house for everybody who's just joining. Somebody mentioned that it looks like a child's body in one of his clips. We can look at that. That is some speculation that we're seeing online. But, oh, look at those blue hearts pouring in for this little boy. We just want to see him come home safe. Yeah, this is sad. I have a little boy the same age, and I can't imagine, you guys.
I can't either. I have stepchildren. They're 9 and 11, or 9 and 10. Sorry, she's going to be 11 next month, and they couldn't. We live in Florida. she couldn't survive sleeping in the backyard overnight by herself. I'm just being honest. I would lose my mind. I wouldn't let her sleep in a sleeping bag outside the back door.
No, I mean, I get it. My boys have had that brave idea before. Like, okay, mom, we're going to set up the tent. And every time I'm like, I know they'll make it till about 10:30. And I would never let them stay out there. I mean, if they decided to stay out there, I guess I'd be sleeping on the ground right next to them. But
that's what I have to do. We've done it a couple times. And even
they have
then,
yet to make it out there alone. I
No.
just let them set it up and pretend like they're going to do it. And they make it in the house by 11 o'clock at night, from the backyard. And
same here.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll go back to the pictures. I did find Landon's statement that she made. I don't know why my internet must be lagging.
Kristen, I mean, my kids are still little. They can't go anywhere by themselves, but I always know where they are too, even in the house. In fact, I was I confided in Danielle today that there was an instance once when the younger one was about 6 and he was mad at me and he hid in the house and I couldn't find him. And when I was calling him, he wouldn't answer me. And I called his father at work and said, I'm going to call 911 because it's been 10 minutes. I can't wait any longer. 10 minutes is 10 miles. I mean,
right.
I get it.
Absolutely. Oh, I love the blue lights too, Riley.
Oh, Joan. Joan, I didn't know you were in Colorado. I know you're Save Robbie's mom, right? I believe. Tracy Miller, if my dog was gone for 10 minutes, I'd be on my neighborhood Facebook page asking for people to help. Yes.
Look at all
There's
those
also
blue hearts.
There's also another question about, we were looking at a timeline tonight about how long it took the police to actually get to the home after the
Oh,
call was
wow.
made.
Wait a second. CSI is back there right now. Are they live?
Ooh.
All right, guys, we're going to Facebook. Let me pull up my Facebook and we'll see what we can find. Oh, where did you see that at, if you don't mind me asking? Let's see what we can find. Oh, no, you guys.
Kristen. Yeah, I get it. My heart was sinking.
It's horrible.
It is. Anytime they're out of your sight and you don't know where they are. And I'm not a helicopter parent, but yeah, if I'm running around the house and you're not answering me, I'll start panicking.
I'm not seeing anything yet. Maybe I need to look in a particular group.
Decause, are you still here? Will is here. Yay.
Hey, Will.
Okay, Riley Day says it's the search party group on Facebook.
Is it the Find Gannon Stauch group? Oh.
Kristen, that terror and panic is real. I know the day it happened to me, like we have those, like a ADT system where the doors beep, and I did hear an exterior door open. He was hiding in our garage, but I just, and I remember his father was saying, "Don't worry, you'll find him," or whatever. And I thought, I can't bank on that. And if the cops come out here, then that's just what's going to happen.
Right. Sorry, guys. I'm still here. I'm just trying to find what I can on social media right now to see if I can find where this is posted.
Erica Ackling, that's what we've been trying to figure out. She said, Tisha was on my People You May Know on Facebook. I saw the last name and clicked on her page, and from the looks of it, Albert and her have a little girl together. She looks 4 or maybe 5. Yeah, we had the same thoughts. We've heard conflicting stories about whether Liana is, is their child, or if we don't know if Landon's the mother or Tisha is the mother. And then we hear other things where they say she's like 7 going on 8. So I don't know. She might just be small.
Right. Hold on, I gotta check messages here. Oh. Thank you, Amanda. Oh my gosh. Crime scene is back at the house, and possible another car towed from the airport. I'm praying this isn't a bad sign. Oh boy.
No.
Okay, I think yeah, this group isn't public and I'm not in it, so I cannot see
Is
it.
it the one? Is it the one that I'm in?
It is called Where is Gannon Stauch?
Yeah, I'm in that group. But I don't have StreamYard. I'll tell you, if you join, they'll approve you fairly quickly, I believe. Yeah, when little kids hide, they don't know what it does to their parents. They have no idea. And it's so hard because when you find them, you're so thankful, but you're so just angry at the same time.
Why is that crime scene unit back at the house?
I don't know.
That crime scene unit would not be going back to this little boy's house over and over and over again. They're looking for something.
They are. So here's something interesting, and it came up earlier in the chat. The younger daughter, whether she belongs to T or she belongs to Landon, was definitely there over the weekend. I wonder what she has been capable of communicating, and she has anything to add to this at all.
It looks like this is being reported in multiple groups.
I would imagine that the news are on standby outside the house.
Okay, guys, we can look at this group. This group is public. It is called Gannon Stauch Search Party. To the group admins, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to invade your group. I'm just trying to keep people informed. Thank you for your information. I know what it's like to run groups. And I would imagine this group is public for a reason, because they are trying to find a little boy. So they're letting... Hold on one second, Will. I'll drop you a link.
Ugh. Jamie, when they hide in the stores, I have a rule. I'm like, you can't take 5 steps away from my shopping cart. I always say, you're out of bounds.
Can you guys send some more blue hearts up for him? While I pull this up, send some more blue hearts up for Gannon. Let's show his family that we support them. We have hope. We're not giving up on this little guy. And we're going to go look at this group.
Joan Brown, we don't know where the stepmom is, but she might be. Maybe she's, maybe this doesn't... I will eat my words, but I don't feel badly about my instincts right now. I don't.
Aw, you guys are amazing. Okay, let's go look at... Oh, Will, let me get you...
Oh my gosh. It's just blue everywhere.
Aw, it's gonna make me cry seeing
I
all that
know.
blue for him.
And like I said, when I got the street view and I saw the blue lights outside the homes and the ribbons and the balloons, it just gave me goosebumps.
I saw a post somewhere, somebody in Colorado, that all the blue lights are sold out at the store.
Oh.
So
Has anybody seen, Gannon had a YouTube channel. I don't know if anybody has seen it. He only had one little video posted. He was playing Sonic the Hedgehog. He was trying to have a little gaming channel. And I'm not going to say that I didn't relate to Gannon before, but when I watched it this morning, it really kind of tore me up because my stepson plays Roblox, and he's always I won't let him have a YouTube channel because I'm mean, I guess. But he narrates it for me like it is, and he'll say, hit the thumbs up, subscribe down below, and he has this little point thing and he dabs, and I saw Gannon come to life for me as like a real person. And I know it's a weird thing to say, but then it really got to me. It wasn't a name anymore. It wasn't just a photo.
Right. All right, Will's gonna come on here, but I'm gonna go through this Facebook group. Aw, you guys are amazing with all these blue hearts.
So why do you guys think it took that there was such a gap in time between the time that Gannon was called in as missing and the time the police arrived? It was almost 3.5 hours.
Yeah, that bothers me.
It bothers me a lot too. And I kind of looked into it because at first he was reported as a runaway, and then they found the data on his phone that said that, can my parents find me if my phone is off? And so they changed his status. And then he was listed missing and endangered because he's on medication and because of the weather conditions. But you would think even if he was a runaway, somebody would have come out to the house right away and taken a report.
Right. Okay, Will's coming on. We're gonna look at this Facebook group though really quick. Hey Will, what's up?
Hey.
I want to take a look at this Facebook group, guys, and see what's being said. So 54 minutes ago, that's not it. The news just said the crime unit is back at the house.
You think they're pulling out more carpet?
I mean, who knows? That's where I'm at right now. Is I just have no idea about anything yet. We just know that everybody involved in this case, every adult almost involved in this case, has a shady past.
Not really.
No,
the father's military.
Yeah,
the
he doesn't.
father's military, but
Not criminal. Not criminal. So maybe shady.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Shady, like they cheated, they had affairs. Yeah.
Right.
And the biological mother doesn't have a criminal background either.
Right. She's a teacher as well.
Yeah, she was a physical education teacher.
Who?
Landon, Gannon's mother.
Yeah, we don't know anything about her, but we do know, well, I don't know for a fact. I've only heard that her brother has, which is Tisha's ex, has a real fucked up past, that he's a super piece of shit. But I don't know any details about that.
I think he lives in South Carolina. The problem comes in is that Landon lives in South Carolina. Her brother lives in South Carolina. Albert was out of state at military training, and the only person with this child was Tisha.
Right.
That's a huge problem, Will, and they keep coming back to the house.
I agree. I agree that it's a huge problem. I just want to be very careful because there's still the chance that even though this woman is very, very shady, and I agree with both of you guys, and I agree with most people in chat that this woman is extremely, I mean, she is red flagging left and right. I get it,
Right.
but there's still the chance that we could be wrong. You
Oh,
know, I mean, we're not wrong about her character, I don't think,
No,
but
I'll agree with
but
you
I
on
don't,
that.
I'm not, you know, I don't. I said the same thing with the whole Chris Watts thing, with the Shane Carey thing. I'm sticking to that. You know, until we know facts, I'm not ready to even create a narrative that implicates this woman in a crime involving the disappearance of this 11-year-old boy. That's a
No,
hell of a thing to accuse someone of. So I don't even
absolutely.
want to. I
It's
don't even want to
fair.
nobody's
paint that
accusing her.
narrative.
Yeah,
No,
nobody's
but
accusing her.
no, but we're definitely focusing a lot on the idea that she's looking really guilty here.
Well, here's the thing.
All right,
She
guys,
was
here's
the
a
only
picture.
one. Okay.
Here's a picture. It's 11:52 here, so 9:52. So this was between 7:30 and 8 tonight when it loads. My computer's being slow. And Will, I think you're absolutely right. So that's their house. There's the blue lights outside. You see all the crime scene investigators again outside the house tonight. I think I said this earlier. What's different, what is very, very alarming to me, and I will publicly apologize if I have said anything in the end that offends Tisha and she is in no way involved in anything. I have no problem making a public apology. The difference here is with Shane Carey, I don't know. I guess I'm following my gut instincts here. When it came to Shane, I didn't get that vibe from him. This video that she has done, it just does something to my soul. And then when I look at all the other little pieces that we have, were you on earlier when I showed the text messages where she messaged Albert
I
on
did see that. Yeah.
okay, so she messages his dad on Sunday night and says that, it's really late too. So he should have been in bed at that time. What was he doing in the basement lighting a candle and catching alone, catching the basement on fire or the carpet on fire at almost 11 o'clock at night on Sunday night when he should have been going to school the next day. And then I see, like with Shane Carey, we didn't see Heidi's family speaking out against him. We saw them. I mean, they stood pretty united. His father stood next to him and had his back 100%.
Right. But what I'm saying is that's the reason why I jumped real quick in the chat there was, we don't know anything about that lady. We don't know anything about her. We don't know if her word is credible. And the fact of the matter is I'm also seeing it from the perspective of if she's going to make a public statement, she was very, very uncouth in the way that she delivered that statement.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So I that to me, that speaks just as much volumes of her character right now as Tisha's appearance on that interview.
See, I guess I see it differently because she's defending an 11-year-old little boy who's missing.
I think that
believe me, if my 11-year-old son was missing, I would come out swinging a lot harder than this aunt did.
I don't know if you would though.
Oh, I would.
And the reason why I say that, Danielle, it's not to question your character or anything like that. On the contrary, I think that if your 11-year-old nephew is missing and you followed cases like this as much as you have, which I'm not saying she probably hasn't,
right.
But you in particular, I think that you would realize how your appearance and how your words and how you deliver them would have an impact as far as your credibility and people taking you seriously would go. So you would probably choose your words a lot more carefully than she did in order to get people to go, okay, wait a minute, this is a heart. This woman's heart is wrenching right now because her 11-year-old child is missing. And right now, what she was focused on more in that statement was a hatred for a more profound hatred for Tisha than a more profound need to find Gannon, which is very much what we were accusing Tisha of in her interview.
Okay,
So
but what if Gannon's aunt knows something that we don't know, and she probably shouldn't have gone on social media and done that? I'm going
exactly
to say that she
right.
probably shouldn't have, but
I
she
agree
was
with you.
angry, and we all have moments where we're angry and we do things that we regret later and we can't take them back. And she wrote a bunch of stuff, but she may know something that we don't know. She obviously had a personal relationship with Tisha at one time, and her opinion, that's just one social media post. There's a lot of them.
Okay,
There's a lot of them.
hold on, guys. I found the video. I have to stop the screen share and redo it to share the audio. So bear with me. But
I'm also trying to find articles written. I found one that was written 10 minutes ago or posted 10 minutes ago, but there's nothing about any developments here yet.
okay.
But I'm trying to look at that too, due to the fact that if there are crime scene investigators right now in front of that house, that would indicate to me that there's a development in this case.
Right,
So,
right.
Well, obviously
Yes.
and like
something's
Amy
going on.
mentioned, right? And as Amy mentioned earlier, it does stand to reason that there would be reporters out there.
Right.
So, I'd like to
Most
know if
of-
anybody's posting anything.
I just want my subs to know how much I love all of you and how devoted I am to true crime, because I was going to go to bed, but I'm going to stay up now because I need to follow this. Like I wouldn't be able to sleep if I laid my head down. I need to see what's going on with this.
I'm having
Keep it
a flash.
100. If he wanted to go live on his own channel, he would. We already talked about this, right, Will?
We sure did. And keep it 100 is full. So
Who's being mean?
Hey,
Who's being mean?
We're not being mean. Please
Yeah.
stay.
Yeah, don't leave. I don't know who's being mean.
who
All right, I'm
said,
going to play
who
this
said that?
video. Happy go lucky. Keep the blue hearts coming, guys. Let's keep hope up for this little boy. Okay. All right, let's play this video. If it will load.
You know what keeps going through my mind is that
What are
Tisha
we
was
looking?
the only.
Yeah, watch this video. This was the latest update this evening.
What are we?
Alright.
What? Oh, okay. The latest update this evening. That's what I was going to
Yeah.
ask. What are we looking at?
Hold on, it's gonna.
Yeah, if you can full screen that, that'd be great.
I'm trying to.
Okay.
This thing's lagging like crazy.
Facebook sucks when it comes to
Miller,
that.
I agree.
Oh, there we go. Okay. Oh, we got to get some volume on it.
What is that?
I think that's background noise.
I heard Godzilla.
Oh, you know what? That's me. I'm sorry about that. I'm watching Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in the background.
I was like, do I hear dinosaurs?
All right. Sorry, guys. I don't know why it's lagging. I might have to do it like this. This is what I might have to do.
It's the original one from the early 90s.
Actually,
man, I love that movie.
I love the
Amanda, thank you. Amanda Clampett, you are my... Hold on one second, guys. We're going to do this a different way, and I'm going to mute my mic for a minute. Can you guys just hold it down for like 2 minutes while I mute my mic?
Sure. Casey, me
Thanks,
too.
guys.
Will was watching Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That's what we heard.
Listen, get off my case. It's a great
It's all
movie.
right. You're making us want pizza.
I just forgot to mute it.
You mute the mutants.
And by the way, guys, as of this moment, it is no longer Danielle's birthday. So wish her I hope you had a great birthday today, Danielle.
I did. Thank you. I had a great birthday.
Joan Brown, I heard the news is at the house now too. I think that's what we're trying to get coordinated here. Dust Harris, the Ninja Turtles are the best. I will agree
Well,
with
I
that.
mean, for that time and no CGI, they did a really great job doing a live action. I mean, their
They
martial
did.
arts skills were amazing, dude. I still watch that and go, man, that must have been really hard in those suits.
Do you know? I have it's not a turtle. I have a tortoise as a pet, one of those Russian tortoises. He lives in like out by my shed in a goat pen, but I love him. He's like turtles are actually really cool and cute.
Yeah, it's gonna outlive you probably.
Well, it's already 60 years old. I got him from somebody else. So yeah, he probably will.
Right.
He probably will. You have to like bequeath them to somebody else.
Right.
But they're cool. They actually have like little personalities. So yeah, I like the turtles. Oh, you guys, this is distressing. Very, very distressing. What
And
is
yes,
the chat saying?
to answer your question from earlier, Kristen and company, I do have children, as a matter of fact, and they're all grown up, and I have been through it with them, so I do understand to a certain degree. I mean, I've never gone through what these parents are going through, thank goodness, but
But Will, have you ever lost them in the store for like 2 minutes and panicked? Or
no.
oh gosh.
No.
See, I was saying I lost Christian in our house once. He was hiding from me. And 10 minutes went by and I couldn't find him. I called his dad and dad was like, calm down. It was like 10 minutes, he could be 10 miles away. I mean, sheer panic ran through me.
Well,
Right.
my son as a teenager disappeared for like a week.
Oh my God.
After we had an argument. Yeah. And I was scared out of my mind. I lost my job because I was just searching for him like nonstop. But the thing was, I know my son really well. You know how a lot of these people are like, I know something's wrong because I know my child. Well, this was the opposite of that. Like, I knew my son and I knew he was off fucking around. It was just a question of where. You know what I mean? So, I mean, could have something have happened to him? Maybe, but nothing did because I was right. I knew exactly what he was doing. He just decided to play a game and keep me guessing and kind of torture me a little bit. And I knew that's what he was doing. So yeah, I've been through the stress of wondering where your kid is, but again, he was 17 at the time, and doing exactly what I would have predicted him to do. So it's definitely much different. I'm not trying to compare that, but at the same time, even though I knew he was okay somewhere, I was still losing my fucking mind.
Well, yes, because you want to be able to put eyes on them.
I didn't know where he was. I didn't know what he was doing. I
see.
And I knew he was up to no good, so I was worried about him being hurt.
Sure.
Or worse, obviously, but
well, I see people in the chat. I see Riley Day saying she lost her daughter in Walmart for 5 minutes. She was under the clothes and she was panicked. It was a horrible feeling. Des says my daughter was on the roof. She was 10. I called the cops and they found her. I was mad at that time. It's so hard when you finally do get them back, because you're like so thankful, but you're so angry at the same time. And it kind of bounces back and forth in your mind.
Yeah, that event changed a lot of things for him and I.
Sure.
But he what's ironic though is when he was a small kid, I would have never lost him in the store because he and I were like, rice and beans, man. He was always right next to me because he wanted to be right next to me.
Right.
He was my little, homeboy, man.
He was your sidekick. Yeah.
He was my dude, he was my little dude, man. And So
Oh
he
wait,
just went.
Tracy.
He went through a
Oh.
lot, and that changed.
Well,
Once
it's hard when
I
they become teenagers too. They.
well, he went through a lot, and I at the time when he was a little kid, it was just he spent time with dad when he could spend time with dad,
Right.
whether it was my call or whether it was his mom's, but he didn't spend a lot of time with once her and I split up, and not for a lack of trying, but I'm not going to get into that. But he ended up he went through a lot. He had quite a I'll leave it at that. And then by the time circumstances came to where he ended up living with me and I ended up getting custody of him, it was very challenging.
Yeah, Irish is saying
and
that
it's
her
understandable.
son. Yeah, Irish is saying her son got out by the side gate, just taking a stroll with the dog, and she was terrified when she couldn't find him. It's terrifying. And I'm also seeing somebody up here. Let me go back to the chat because we were talking about this earlier today.
Okay, I have the video. So
you do? Yay!
Yeah, I had to do it a kind of messed up way, but not messed up, but we're gonna play it
Whatever
like this.
works.
Yeah, we're gonna play it like this, and then thank you, Amanda, for sending it to me. Oops, I can't do full screen yet. Now, just keep in mind this is somebody's home recording, so. All right, here we go. I really hope I hit that play audio button. All right.
I get it.
You didn't hit the play audio button.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure.
I don't hear anything.
Okay. So
Yeah.
okay. You guys, someone needs to, every time I do this, say, Danielle, hit that button.
Check that box.
I do it every single, well, not every single time. I was doing good earlier, but.
I hear you, Des Harris. Yeah. Yeah.
Tracy Miller, I think earlier you were talking about the way. Oh, here we go.
Gannon Stauch, crime scene investigator that searched the family's home today.
Fox 31's Nicole Figueroa has been at the family home all day long. She's been witnessing that search, and Nicole, the search intensifying again tonight. We're seeing, Jeremy, something very interesting to note is this crime unit man here. This wasn't here a little while ago. They were around from 11 to 2. We saw them here. That's when we saw them bringing out the big evidence bags, the small evidence bags, going back and forth with gloves and tools. But they left at 2 o'clock. Now we come back and we see them here. We're not seeing people going in and out a lot right now, but it is important to note that they did come back. So why that is, we are not sure yet. All day we have been speaking with the sheriff's office, and they can't get into specifics because they say this is an investigation. This is ultimately trying to get a little boy home, 11 years old. But they did tell us that what they're doing here today, that it's important, and they are going to be working around the clock 24 hours a day until they get some answers. And you see that here right now. You see the command unit. We haven't been seeing them going in and out a lot, but I did see one person about 10 minutes ago go grab something from their trunk and go back in. That's about it for now, though.
And Nicole, you spoke to a neighbor. This neighbor has surveillance video. He showed it to police and to Gannon's dad.
That's it. So.
I want to address this comment. Des Harris is saying, I don't know how people with missing children live through it. Well, you do it because you have to. You do it. You have to stay strong. You know, I would imagine that when your child is missing, they're counting on you to be strong for them in in that aspect, just like any other aspect that they would count on you to be strong for them. So you just have to. You don't have a choice. You have a parental instinct to be strong and do what you have to do to bring them home.
Carrie McDonald, yes, we are discussing the missing 11-year-old boy, Gannon. Yes.
Yeah, there's been some breaks in the case today. We don't really know what they are, just that the crime scene unit was at the house earlier today at Gannon's house for about 3 hours, and then they're back there again tonight.
And they've been there before.
They had been there
Earlier
before.
today, yes.
Well, prior to today, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
prior to
So-
today, they were there, and then
They
So that's
spent
not
8
to
hours
be-
there. They spent 8 hours there the first time. 8 hours.
Right.
And then
So
they came
that's
back
not
today.
that's not to be dismissed as anything minor. If they're
No.
going back for a second look, that means that the police, I mean, I think it's safe to say that indicates that law enforcement finds some suspicion going on around that home, or around that home. So
and the only adult home when he disappeared was
Right.
Tisha.
Right. Yes, the rest were out of state. So he was only in her care. There was also the break earlier that a neighbor found something on his security footage, and crime scene experts have removed evidence from that home today.
Again, I'm playing devil's advocate here, but because I'm the guy that's like, I'm not ready to start throwing shade on somebody until law enforcement either clears somebody of charges or as a person of interest, or does not charge them. You know what I mean? Or charges them, I mean.
Right, but they haven't cleared her.
Well, right. So
And they were very
but they
evasive
haven't
when they
charged her either. So
They haven't, but they were extremely evasive during the news conference or during the press conference when they were asking questions about Tisha. It is very clear that she is
All I'm
still a
saying-
person of interest.
Sure. All I'm saying is that doesn't necessarily make her out to be guilty of a crime here. There's still the
doesn't.
possibility that there was a home intruder. There's a possibility of anything right now.
Right,
But
absolutely.
as far as people, I agree with you in the sense that as far as anybody who is close to Gannon being involved, then yes, she's definitely the one person to be looking at. Sure. But again, we don't know. So let's try to keep I just don't want I don't want to be I don't want to be wrong, even if this person sucks, I don't want to be wrong about her.
Stu, I saw that earlier too. I saw that they were searching another area. Can everybody in the chat type 1 if they want to see the press conference again? Because we can play that again. There's absolutely nothing wrong with discussing it, Kristen. We're perfectly fine with discussing it. I'm perfectly fine with discussing it. I think where the problem lies is that I totally see where Will's coming from. I know why he's saying it, and I respect it 100% because we have seen this happen before. And the person that was completely slaughtered online was 100% innocent. So we want to maintain that level of respect. We don't want to call her guilty. We don't want to say that she's done something that she hasn't, because truly none of us know. But
you guys, can I say something really quick? You guys, Will's not trying to take over Danielle's show. They're very good friends. Okay?
Yeah, no, Will's my
So,
friend. He's my friend.
That's okay, man.
I invited him on here.
And
He's
we
my
want you all
friend.
to
That's okay, man.
stay.
Yes.
And
What
I'll
are
tell
all
you
the
this.
what are all the ones for?
because they want to see the press conference again.
Oh, okay.
So I'll go ahead and play it again. We'll mute our mics. We can watch the press conference. Sometimes when we watch things a couple times, you know, we see something we didn't see before. So we'll go ahead and play that again for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm catching hatred for simply trying to come from a decent place, that's okay.
Yeah,
You
you're
know
all
what I'm
good.
saying? I'm
You're
not
all
real
good.
worried about it at all. So
There's
Yeah.
just a different dynamic here, and I will tell you that I think it was Will, Danielle, and I were talking the night that the Heidi Broussard case broke, and the conversation was just like this. It was the
Yeah.
same way,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
we have differing opinions, and that's okay. And you guys have differing opinions, and we like to hear them. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. You guys, please feel free. You don't have to limit your opinions because of what we're saying.
No.
Please put your opinions, your thoughts in the comments. I'm open to hearing everything.
And I
I'm
think
totally open to discussing everything. I think even Amy and I had talked, you know, there's a possibility that maybe Tisha's protecting her other child.
Oh my gosh. I didn't want to bring that up, but I'm so glad you did.
Yeah, there is that possibility.
right.
You know,
Yeah, we talked
don't
about
know.
that last night, actually.
Yeah, we don't know the situation, but I think it's great for all of us to put all of our minds together and have all of our opinions and discuss them.
I think it's important though
And
that when we make statements, we clarify
Right.
whether or not it's speculation or fact.
Right.
And
And
that's
I'm coming from a place where I don't want anybody to have to face feeling
Oh.
bad if some development happens that we never even thought of and she's cleared of anything.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I don't want you to have to live with that.
Kristen,
it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Kristen, you can say whatever you want here. Nobody's telling you not to say it. And
Yeah.
I am more leaning, I'm going to be really honest, and I will publicly apologize too. I'm leaning towards Tisha. She was the only adult in that house. They keep going back to that house. And if there was a home invader or something like that, more of the ring cams would have picked that up, in my
Right.
opinion.
Right.
In my opinion. So
Oh
what
my
this
gosh,
neighbor
Julia.
saw.
Oh my gosh. Julia says she's been searching for her 3-year-old for 18 years.
Oh.
It's the absolute worst because you're confused, angry, grieving, total post-traumatic stress disorder, antidepressants is God, and God is all I have. I'm so sorry. I'm
See,
so sorry.
I love Olivia B's comment there. That's totally, I totally get that.
Julia,
She's like,
Olivia,
"Fuck,
that's where I'm at.
yeah,
I'm
that's
at
cool."
the same place with her. I said,
Yeah,
I don't know if
that's
I said
cool.
it before you came on or not, Will, but I said if I'm wrong, I will publicly apologize to her.
Right.
I
but-
have no problem doing so.
Me too.
Yeah, I'm not the guy that's gonna go. This is what I think, and without any without any overwhelming evidence, you know what I'm saying? I'm not the guy that's gonna be like, she's guilty, because that's how I feel. I'm just not that
Right.
guy. I've never been that guy. I didn't
get
even do
it.
that with Chris Watts. I was like, yeah, he's full of shit in that interview, but you know what I mean? We don't know yet.
Right.
So, and for me, that's making sure that we listen to everything. We have an open mind towards any facts that come in. So that's a personal exercise for myself to make sure that I get all the facts, and then I make the right. I don't make any unfounded assumptions. That's all that is. I don't want to be that guy. I want to think critically, and I want to be able to look at all the possibilities here.
Well, I'll tell you, I felt this way last night, and I had a little bit of guilt about it this morning, and I had some free time today, and I spent
I'm with you, Casey. I'm with you. Go ahead. Sorry.
That's okay. I spent about 5 hours pulling everything I could find and looking and making notes. And I'm sorry, but there's no, at this point for me, other than something way, way out crazy, everything is pointing to her, and she is not being very cooperative. So
Oh, I agree with you there. Yeah, I totally agree with you. And Taylor saying stop trying to force us to be like you. I'm just telling you what I'm doing.
it's just what Will
You know
does.
what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I'm just telling you
it's
what I'm
just
doing.
Will. It's
I'm
just
not,
Will.
yeah, I'm not telling you to think one way or the other. I'm
Yeah.
telling you what I'm doing and why I feel this way, and that's it. I at the end of the day, you're the one who has to live with whatever comes back. You know, I don't care.
I think the majority of us are gonna live with what we're saying right now.
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean,
Yeah,
I think if I had to do a ratio, I'm like 98%
Oh, I'm
certain, and I feel that in my gut. And
me
I was
too.
just telling Amy the other day, I used to ignore my instincts, and I've learned to follow them as I've gotten older. And boy, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I told you there's a book. It's called The Gift of Fear. It's by Gavin DeBecker, and it's recognized by the behavioral analysts at the FBI. We are animals. We have instincts. We are highly evolved animals, but when the little hairs on the back of our neck stand up and our stomach turns and we're queasy and
Right.
things like that, that is our instinct telling us something is wrong. But
Right.
because we're highly evolved and we have this intellect on top of it, we tend to fight with that. You know, it has to do with like you want to hear an Amy word? The amygdala in your brain. It's your primordial brain that's doing that. It's your little caveman brain saying, dinosaur coming.
All right, guys, I'd like to get that book, actually. I'm going to have you text me the name of that. I'm going to play this press conference. And to all of my subs and everybody in the chat, please know you are free to think however you want and share whatever opinions you'd like. I think the majority of us feel the same way about this lady at this point, and that's okay. If we're all wrong, we'll all be wrong together, right? I mean,
right.
She didn't exactly go on the news making a public plea showing her face and crying. Her
don't
tears
get
were
me wrong. Yeah, she
her
looked
tears were
guilty as
flipping
fuck.
dubbed in at the end of a video with the back of her head looking like Cousin It, and I can't get past it.
Don't
I
get
have
me
thought
wrong.
about
She looks guilty as fuck to me. I make no mistake. Like, she looks awful, but I'm just not quick to go, she's guilty. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
I'm not 100% saying she's guilty. I'm saying she's 98% guilty right now. There's still a 2% margin of error in my brain.
Based on what you know. Based
Based
on
on
what
all
you
the
know.
based on all these little pieces that have been put together. It's insane to me. It's just insane. And I'd say earlier today I was probably 95%. And after I read everything that I read tonight, before I came on the show, I'm like, yep, we have a problem here. We have a really, really big problem here with Tisha. And I'm just not that. I'm genuinely not that person to jump to conclusions. I mean, I followed the
No,
Roden
I know you're
I
not.
followed the Roden and Gilly case for 2.5 years before it was solved and somebody was arrested. The Wagners were always my number one suspects, but I would entertain the other theories, and I'd bounce back like, okay, they didn't do that. They didn't do it. They're not capable of it. It's not them. It's got to be this. And every single time I came back to the Wagners. So, I mean, I'm not saying I know everything or that my intuition's always right. I'm just saying that I'm not that person that just jumps to conclusions. So,
well, Michelle Barrow, I want to address your comment. 2 comments. You're saying she was too chatty, too weird, and like Chris Watts, chatty, but not really saying anything. Well, I disagree. Again, I'll be devil's advocate on the other side as far as that goes. She was saying a lot, in the sense that she was not at all showing any concern for Gannon's safety. and well-being and safe return home, other than in a sense that it would interest her. And it would be in an interest of her betterment in some way. She, when given the opportunity to say, do you have a message for Gannon, if he can hear you right now, what would you say? And she says, well, come home so that all these crazy allegations against me will be dropped. She's very much telling in her own interest, but that could just mean that she's just a shitty person who doesn't give a shit. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't necessarily mean that she is guilty of a crime, but but I agree with everyone here on panel and everyone in the chat. I am on the same page with you in the sense that she does not look good at all.
I'm totally not laughing at you.
Her
Casey's
behavior.
comment just made my night.
Murky brown.
Wait, what?
Murky brown.
Oh, you win the internet today, Casey. Sorry, I
That was
totally
giggling,
interrupted
too.
you, Will, but I couldn't contain my laughter because that's
Oh
the
no,
best.
I said what I needed to say.
Okay, we're going to this press conference.
Okay.
Yeah, her aura is that of diarrhea. I totally agree. Totally agree.
Yes,
Right, and
Danette, we've discussed the new revelations up to the point that the investigators are back at the house again right now. Did they check that dirt pile across from her during the interview? I don't know, but I don't even know where the interview was done at.
and they were searching. That was the news story that broke earlier today, was that they were searching a new area that was about 10 minutes from the house.
Yeah, I saw that.
I saw that too.
Okay,
So
all right.
I'm wondering if anything they found there, I'm hoping that they didn't find something there that led them back to the house.
Right.
That's what, because that's never a good sign.
Right, right. Okay, we're going to the press conference right now. And we're going to mute our mics if you guys don't mind, because I want people to be able to hear it without us talking. Oops. I need to go to the next video. All right, guys, here it comes.
I'm Landon Hyatt, Gannon's mom, and I encourage you guys, I know many of you mothers and fathers. I'm Landon Hyatt.
Coming today. I'm Jacqueline Kirby, and I'm the Media Relations Manager for the El Paso County Sheriff's Office. With me today are Sheriff Elder, Under Sheriff Carey, Law Enforcement Bureau Chief Brad Shannon, Investigations Division Commander Andy James, Lieutenant Mitch Mahako, and Lieutenant David Manzanilla. We also have Albert Stauch and Landon Hoyt, the father and mother of Gannon. We are in awe of their strength. They have shown in the midst of an unimaginable situation that no parent ever wants to find themselves in. But today we're here to give an update on the case regarding Gannon. Lieutenant Mitch Mahako will be giving the brief, and we are hoping this will answer some, if not all, of your questions. If it does not, we will be entertaining questions after the press conference is over, but I'm asking you to show a level of professionalism and decorum. If you have a question, please raise your hand and I will point to you. Gannon's parents will be available for a statement, but no questions at the close of the press conference. So without further ado, Lieutenant Mahako.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being here at our briefing tonight. My name is Lieutenant Mitch Mahalko. I head the El Paso County Sheriff's Office Investigations Division. On Monday, January 27th, 2020, at approximately 6:55 p.m., EPSO dispatch received a call for a runaway child in the 6600 block of Mandan Drive. Approximately 7:32 p.m., Gannon Stauch was entered into state and national databases, NCIC, CCIC, as an active runaway. At the time, deputies conducted an initial investigation to include interviews with the reporting person. And at that time, the reporting person had said that he was last seen between 3 and 4 p.m. That day. Deputies then conducted additional follow-up and a search of the area for Gannon, but unfortunately with negative results. On Tuesday, January 28th, 2020, at around 12:29 p.m., the case was turned over to EPSO investigations. At that time, investigators began collecting information and conducting interviews. They collected information to include video surveillance, neighborhood canvas information, followed up on additional leads, and exploited and used different various techniques and technology to conduct this investigation. The investigation continued into the early morning hours of Thursday, January 30th. At that time, into Wednesday, January 29th, and then through the 29th into Thursday, January 30th. At that time, the case was upgraded from a runaway to an endangered missing child based upon the information that was gleaned from the investigation so far. Because of the upgrade in the status of Gannon, resources from the NCMEC or National Child National Missing and Exploited Children team, ADAM, as well as resources from the FBI Crimes Abduction Rapid Deployment or CARD team have been requested by the El Paso County Sheriff's Office. There are numerous resources at that level that assist us and give us an additional footprint in the investigation. These folks are experts in the field of search and rescue and will be a good partner with us during this investigation. Moving forward, I can tell you that some of the things that we are looking for from the community are continuing tips, additional social media post reviews. We're vetting all tips that are received through the El Paso County Sheriff's Office tip line. Ms. Kirby will be providing that here to the press as well. And then please understand that this is an active investigation that includes continuing witness interviews, as well as evidence collection, trying to figure out exactly where Gannon is at and bring this case to resolution. I can also let you know that really we are exhausting at this point every avenue that we can to find potential leads and to get Gannon located. At this time, I think we would open for questions.
Yep. Yes.
What exactly happened that it goes from a runaway to endangered missing child? What is it, just simply time or?
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you. So there's a number of factors in this particular case. Obviously, we've been having cold weather, so the weather was one issue. The time frame, as you pointed out, sir, is another issue. The fact that he's actually under the age of 13, he's at 11 years old, and he also has specific medication that he takes. So we want to make sure that all those resources are being poured into finding him. Yes.
Eric Ross with Channel 5. We've been hearing that the stepmother may have not been fully cooperative with law enforcement. Can you talk about that?
Appreciate that question, sir. At this point in time, we are conducting multiple interviews, and what I can tell you is that each lead that we have is exhausted. Excuse me.
About how many tips have come in regarding this case?
I don't have that number, but I can tell you that we're getting numerous tips both through our dispatch center as well as through our tip line. And at the same time, investigators are monitoring social media. But please understand, we are not using social media as a way to garner that information. So if anyone has that information, we ask that you call it into our tip line at 520-6666.
Danielle, are there any active searches going on right now?
We have been actively searching for Gannon from the start. Different levels of searching have been being done, but we are continuing to search. Yes.
So has he been seen on any video surveillance cameras or neighbors' cameras or any of that?
So at this point in time, I can't clarify. I can't confirm that any video surveillance that we've been looking at and reviewing has Gannon on it.
Is there anything suspicious that you guys expect right now?
At this point in time, we have an active investigation. Our main focus is to get Gannon located, and so that's what we're focusing on.
Eric,
Has there been any suspects or persons of interest identified?
So we are looking at persons of interest, and let me please clarify on that. Persons of interest to us are people that may be able to give us additional information on the location of Gannon, and so we are actively following up on those leads.
Danielle, are there any specific locations you have investigators searching tonight?
At this point in time, I'm not ready to release any of that information.
Chase.
We were told that there was a search going on at a nearby landfill. Would you mind commenting on that if the search is going on over there?
Sure, I appreciate that. So at this point in time, what I can tell you is that we've been in contact as part of our normal protocol with local trash companies in the Lorson Ranch area, as well as other areas. And I can tell you that we are not conducting, as an agency, we are not conducting any searches at landfills at this time.
A lot of people looking to volunteer in the community down there. How should they do that without getting an investigator's way?
Sure.
We will be working with NECMEC, and we will be posting on our social media sites volunteers with an application process and locations when that need arises. We're in the midst right now of getting those processes in place so that when NECMEC says they're ready, we're ready to deploy the community. We know they want to help. We want to give them the opportunity to help. We just want to make sure that it's organized and it doesn't hinder the investigation. Chase.
So you said that you upgraded to, in danger, but is there any sign of foul play or a criminal investigation or anything, or is it kind of too early to tell at this point?
So I appreciate the question. I think what's important at this point is that we're focused on trying to find Gannon, and that his safety is paramount to us. So we're heading in that direction right now.
Yes.
What details do you have about his missing school Monday? Did he have a doctor's appointment?
I am not aware of those specific details, so I'm not going to speak to them.
I have a quick question. Is it any registered sex offenders or folks of note in the neighborhood, or maybe along the trek he may have taken, that are a focus of the investigation?
As I said before, there are always multiple persons of interest, but what I can tell you is that registered sex offenders are able to be searched through the community. That is not necessarily something that we are looking at, but at this time.
Eric.
I hate to ask this question, but you never mentioned that we are hopeful to find Gannon and bring him home safely. Is there a reason why? What's the probability here? What are the odds that he may not be alive?
I always believe in the best, and I believe that we will be finding Gannon.
Okay. All right. So just a few closing comments. I want to stress something very important in this case that we have seen. The misinformation that is being spread on social media has been an absolute hindrance to this case. Every rumor, every thought, everything somebody thinks they heard, they saw, it takes away from our ability to vet credible tips and find Gannon. It prevents us from being timely in our response. And I cannot stress this strongly enough. Any information that is prematurely released or has not been released from the El Paso County Sheriff's Office is not credible. And if you're taking my time and our detectives' time to follow up on things and postings you're seeing on social media, if they have not come from us, you are wasting your time. So please, we encourage the community, follow the sheriff's office social media platforms. Any pertinent information involving this case will be put out as the investigation allows. That is the only information that is credible. Everything else is rumor and it's innuendo, and it takes away from our detectives' ability to timely vet credible tips so we can find Gannon. So I wanted to close with that today. Now, the mom and dad, Gannon's parents, are going to make a statement. There will be no questions at all. So I'm going to turn it over to Albert and Landon.
I'm Landon Hyatt, Gannon's mom, and I encourage you guys, I know many of you mothers and fathers, I encourage you just to seek, find him. I'm so thankful for all the outpouring help that this case has brought. My son is a very loving kid. He wouldn't want harm on anybody at all. And it's so hard to just think, why is this happening to him? I have no clue. My kid deserves to come home. My kid has a purpose. My kid has a life. And it's important to me. And it's important to everybody that's standing in this room. Gannon, Bubba, little man, mommy's hero, wherever you're at, mommy and daddy's here. We're begging and pleading for you to come home. I know that's your biggest wish, is to see mommy and daddy standing here. We're here, Bubba. We're here for you, and I can't wait till you're found, because I have hope that you are going to be found. You are my hero. You are the reason why I have life. He's so special to me. I don't think many people can understand. My child was a 1 pound, 6 ounce baby. He had a 10% chance of survival. If he survived, he will be profoundly disabled. None of that is accurate. He's gifted and talented. Do anything for anybody. So I'm begging, I'm pleading, if anybody has any type of lead, put yourself in my situation. Ask yourself, what would you do? My Savior is a great Savior. And I know I have hope and that my son's going to be here. I'm thankful for the churches, the pastors, the outpouring support from this community, from Albert's military, family, everybody, the detectives. It was you that was sitting at the table, and you told me that 90% success rate, and you told me that I'm going to find Gannon. I believe that. It's the first time I had hope since I got that call on Monday. I have hope. So please have hope with me. I'm begging. Bring my baby home. Bubba, I love you. Mommy loves you so much. Nova loves you. Lena loves you. This room is filled with people that love you, and this community loves you too. So please come home, baby. Please come home.
Yeah, I'd like to reiterate what Langdon said, that what an incredible community we have. I mean, everybody in here in a team, incredible team that yeah, I came out my front door, I think it was Tuesday, and there was 300 people out there searching my neighborhood. It blew me away. So thank you, everyone. Thank you. Again, and Daddy loves you so much. Please come home.
Okay, that will conclude the press conference. We will be putting out a new NECMEC missing poster on our social media sites at the conclusion of this press conference. So please share that. And again, pay attention to the social media. Family deserves that. Thank you.
If it does get to a situation where there is a search,
All right. So yeah, that's profound every time we see that. It's very hard to. These parents love that little boy.
Absolutely.
Um,
Yeah, there's no doubt about that.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to watch. It's heartbreaking. Hey, Soul for Music. Um, yeah, Amy, does anybody have any new thoughts? It is heartbreaking, Riley. Absolutely heartbreaking. Michelle, I could feel her heartbreak as well. It rips my heart out every time I listen to it. Absolutely rips my heart out. Look at all those blue hearts for that little guy. It's just leaves you speechless. Anon, I can't imagine what the parents are going through either. I can't imagine. Um, Caleb, there was no Q&A at the end. I cut the video short because we've all watched it quite a few times. You can go to my channel though, and I have a playlist for Gannon right now, where that press conference is held. They were just asking, I believe, how to spell some of the detectives' names that were speaking. So they didn't really do any Q&A at the end of that press conference.
Yeah, no, and she clearly said that there will be no questions. So
Okay, Amy, I'll drop you a new link. I'm gonna remove you.
the purpose was definitely that the parents make the statement along with law enforcement. But there was absolutely no intention whatsoever to have any type of Q&A in that press conference.
All right, Amy, I removed you, and I am going to drop a link right now for you to rejoin. Sorry, Will.
No, you're fine.
Speak over you. Irish. I think all of us are just left. It just leaves you speechless.
Yeah. It's
our channel. Whose channel do you want, Elma? Mine, the one you're watching right now. I can drop a link to the channel so that you can, if you want to subscribe and look through videos. Go ahead, Will. Sorry about that. And Amy is back. Can you hear us now, Amy?
I can. I could only hear Will. I couldn't hear you, which just it was just confusing.
I think StreamYard glitches sometimes, guys.
Yeah, it's okay.
I feel like it's pretty new. Not pretty new, but you know what I'm saying. It's got its little.
Well, it's definitely new as far as being the go-to for these live broadcasts because everyone's using it.
Right.
Casey, me too. That's a good point. If the daughter is in the military, then she can be questioned without parental permission as she is seen as an adult. That's an interesting point. I don't know the legalities of that, but there's some strange things with her mother's word choices. She's still a child, but she's serving her country, and I don't know for sure if she's like ROTC or she really is in the Air Force. I have no idea.
Danette, I can actually read the car info. I got Amanda. Amanda's down in the chat, and she's helping me out, sending me some information because I can't search while being on live. I mean, I could, but I don't have the capability to be able to be like active in chat and talking with all of you guys and searching at the same time. So thank you so much, Amanda, for everything you're sending me. So Colorado Springs Crime Watch released this statement about 3 hours ago that said, it talks about, it says the neighbor did turn in video evidence to El Paso Sheriff's Office, and the video revelation upset Gannon's father to the point of him breaking down in tears. It had been bothering the neighbor not knowing if something was caught on his camera, so he had been searching back through his video and found something of interest. The crime lab was also at the home removing bag after bag of evidence. One vehicle was towed to the evidence impound from the Marshall's parking lot at 1760 East Woodman Road on the northeast side of Academy and Woodman, just a few hours before the sheriff's press conference last Thursday. So right before that press conference we just watched, they towed a vehicle from Marshall's, which is a store, from the parking lot there. But it wasn't mentioned until the stepmom did a TV interview and alluded to it. Another vehicle had also been towed from the airport.
Yep.
That's what we know about the vehicles that have been towed. I
And-
agree, Anon. The neighbor's a hero. He's brought to some information to light. And yes, the crime lab is back again tonight.
And Carrie McDonald Rennie is mentioning, the stepmom maybe protecting the daughter, saying she's never committed a crime. We touched on that for a moment. That is something that has occurred to some of us.
Right. Right.
So I found an interesting article here. And it states the timeline. So anybody who's just catching up with us, I have a quick summary here of the timeline of this of these events real quick. And it says the timeline from the moment Gannon was reported missing to the decision to upgrade the preteen to an endangered missing child was outlined by Sheriff's Office as followed. Monday, January 27th. So that was just over a week ago. Last seen in the afternoon when he went to play at a friend's house down the street. 6:55 p.m. El Paso County Sheriff's Office dispatch receives call of runaway child at 6600 Block Mandan Drive. 7:32 p.m. Gannon Stauch. Is that how you say it? I want to make sure that we pronounce his name correctly.
I believe it's Stauch.
Stauch?
Stauch,
Okay.
yes.
So 7:32 p.m. Gannon Stauch entered into state and national databases as active runaway. That was at 7:32 p.m. that Monday. Last seen between 3 and 4 p.m. on the 27th. Nothing found on initial search. Tuesday, January 28th at 12:29 p.m. Case turned over to EPSO investigators. Detectives conduct interviews, collect surveillance, follow up on additional leads. On Wednesday, January 29th, the investigation continues. On Thursday, January 30th, upgrade case from runaway to endangered missing child. So it took from Monday to Thursday to make it an endangered missing child. So EPSO request resources from NCMEC and FBI Crimes Abduction Rapid Deployment Team. Search efforts consists of, as of February 2nd, the Sheriff's Office says it has received more than 130 tips in the case. The office says it continues to vet and follow up on each lead that comes in. Effective Sunday afternoon, Incident Command was moved to the EPSO training facility at 2743 Las Vegas Street. The Sheriff's Office says the decision to move Incident Command was based on information gathered from the investigation. Along with citizen volunteers, the following agencies assisted with Sunday's search efforts. So these are all the agencies involved in the case currently, which is the FBI CARD, Child Abduction Rapid Deployment, Pikes Peak Regional Office of Emergency Management, El Paso County Search and Rescue, National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, Salvation Army, Emergency Incident Report, Army 4th Engineer Battalion, in 100% non-duty volunteer status. National Guard 100th Missile Defense Brigade in 100% non-duty volunteer status. The El Paso County Sheriff's Office is taking applications for citizen volunteers in the search effort. And there is a link here. I'm going to go ahead and there is a link here for anyone who wants to apply for a volunteer. I'm going to post that. If I think I can. It's not letting me. But yeah, I can't do that. It's not letting me through StreamYard. Actually, I can.
Yeah.
Actually, I figured it out.
Wait. No.
If you're in that area and you want to volunteer for the search, I'm going to post that link right here, and you can apply to be a volunteer in the search. But those are all the agencies. I find it comforting that there are all these off-duty military people. And I'm sure that probably has a lot to do with the father being a veteran, maybe. But there's all these off-duty military people that are volunteering to help on the search as well.
We have people that want to torture people.
Yeah, like I just saw that too. I was like, "Yo, calm down over there, bro."
Julia,
Like,
it's okay. It gets to the best of us. We get it.
Okay.
Yes, Kristen, he is in the National Guard. Yes, and he is active, but they are in a military town. They are near a military base, a huge one. And so yes, there are a lot of people that are coming together. It's a whole nother family.
Yeah. That link is the purpose of me dropping that link is strictly for people who, well, not strictly but for people who live close to the area, can find the time. I mean, if you're well off and you live halfway across the country or all the way across the country and think you can just go over there and help in the search and take the time off of work, hey, great.
Julia wants to take her down to Gitmo.
I'll actually drop the link to. I dropped this link yesterday. It's the full page on El Paso County Sheriff's Office website that is dedicated to Gannon. It tells you every department, every agency that is involved in searching for him, as well as has a link to where you can sign up to search and information on how to send in tips and all that good stuff. Sorry, I got issues going on here in my.
Thanks for the blue hearts.
Yeah, Caleb, I'm with you on that. I was thinking that too. So Caleb's saying, so cops received the video, the dad watches it and breaks down, then cops. Damn it, I was hoping to read that fast enough to where the chat doesn't move. Then cops send CSI back to the home. So yeah, I'm with you there, man. I'm with you there. Who knows what he saw in that footage that made him break down? It could just very well be him seeing his boy and the overwhelming feeling of him missing his boy made him break down,
Yeah, but even the public information officer said this could be the break in the case.
Right.
I mean, so whatever's on there is important enough where, after being in that house for 8 hours with crime scene investigators, they sent him back twice today. There's something on that tape.
I'm agreeing with you there for sure. I'm absolutely in agreement with you there, Amy. there's definitely a development in this case, in this investigation, considering that this is the second time that crime scene investigators are over there, and they're over there this late at night.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, it's not like they
Right.
said, "Oh, we'll check it out in the morning." They were like, "We need to get over there right now." So I'm that's got my antennas up too.
Yeah, Madam Deficit, they did tell him that. His name is Roderick Drayton, and he had on the shirt he was wearing said United States Army on it. So I don't know, but he was told that what he supplied to them was pertinent to the case. So
Yeah, what you guys are seeing on your screen is actually, I dropped the link down there. That's the website for Gannon. We can scroll through it really quick. It's got his stats. He was born on September 29th, 2008. He's 11 years old. He is a white male with brown hair, brown eyes, 4'9" and about 90 pounds. He was last seen wearing a blue jacket, blue jeans, and tennis shoes. Over here is the email that Will dropped. That's where you can email to volunteer to search. And there's also an application link down here where you can fill out an application to search. You must be 18 years or older. They're asking that if you have any information, you call 911 or 1-800-843-5678, or you can call the El Paso County Sheriff's Office at 719-520-6666. There's been no recent releases since the 31st. And that's about all they have on there for him, but it's directly linked to El Paso County Sheriff's Office. They have made a page just for him.
Amanda Clampett, stop it.
What'd she say?
So,
interview room without anything to drink or bathroom.
Well, hey, if you're Tisha, that's apparently, and you're not allowed to have a lawyer either. Don't forget that.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing: is I've also heard, hey, cops do that all the time. Blah blah blah. That's no secret, but maybe that's true. Let's just say that maybe that's true. I'm finding that hard to believe because, again, this is a Colorado case. This is, to my knowledge, the third high-profile case in Colorado that has taken place, like, in the last year. Year and a half. Let's be fair there. But you have the Chris Watts case, you have the Patrick Frazee case, and now you have this. And so I feel like Colorado cops are going to be real careful about how they look to the press.
Julia,
I don't think that they're gonna be real quick to deny somebody of their constitutional rights and give them a reason to make them look bad. They want to get a conviction here. If somebody that they're questioning is involved, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think we're going to wrap this up just because we are a little over 2.5 hours. It's getting late here. Maybe there will be some developments overnight in the morning. Let's leave some blue hearts for Gannon and his family on our way out. Show our support and our love. I have to go to bed, guys. I have to work in the morning.
Alma wants to put him in a turtle suit, a ninja turtle suit. Her.
Yeah, they're not gonna ruin a case like this.
Right.
Madame Deficit.
Yeah.
I agree with you 100%. I think they're being tight-lipped, and that's so important.
I agree.
So important.
Yeah.
It's crucial. It's crucial. I mean, usually
we have to trust law enforcement to do what they do.
Right. And I'm still at my 98%. Nothing has changed yet.
Same here. So
Aw.
I
Let's
yeah,
bring
I
Sarah
just yeah, I just want to see some closure for this family. That's where I'm at right now. That's all I'm concerned about right now. It's just that this family gets the closure that they need.
Me too.
And uh, yeah, I it's really awful right now as far as because right now I think all of us are sharing the same thing where we want to know what is going on. We want to know what's happening with crime scene investigators being back at that house. And before we sign off, I do want to say that I love hearing about in horrible situations like this. I love when these developments happen from people who genuinely care, people who are a part of a community. And this was a man who had footage, and he didn't even know if he had footage. He sat there and he looked and looked and looked and looked like I've got to see if I can't live with myself if I don't look to see if there's something that I can contribute to help with finding this boy. And he looked and he found something, man. And the power that speaks volumes of the power that someone who genuinely about the environment he's in and the community that he's in, that speaks how powerful that is and how helpful that can be, and how powerful any one of us can be when it comes to just caring about what's happening around us and doing whatever we can to help. And this neighbor right now is I don't know what's on that. I don't know what's on that footage, but I'm loving that guy right now. I'm loving that guy for searching so diligently for whatever he could probably contribute, and then contributing something that could be a very major break in this case.
Absolutely. I agree with you, Will, 100%.
He is the hero. He is.
He is. He is.
Yeah.
Thanks for
He's
hanging out with
definitely
us
looked
tonight,
that way.
guys. It was great talking with all of you and seeing you all here and showing your support for Gannon. I'm sure I will be back tomorrow live about his case, hopefully with some good news.
Right
All
on.
right. Good night, guys. Thank you so much.
Good night,
Yes, thanks for
everybody.
being here, Amy. Thanks for being here, Will. Talk to you guys later.
Happy
Good
belated.
night, everybody. Thank you. Bye, everybody. Good night.
Good night, guys.